Should be streaming.
It's funny, when I search for it, all I see is like the previous one. Oh, wow. It's doing twice the time.
Yep. Hi. Yeah, thanks. You know what Berenstein Bear was? Yeah. Like that's important.
Did you find the stream on YouTube? I couldn't find that shit. I know, I can't find it.
Sal,
Yes, ma'am.
is it, do you want me to do the daily word too, or somebody else doing
I
that?
got somebody else doing it.
All I see
good.
is the previous.
Just to bring everybody
And then I
up,
gotta
you know, just
pray
a
with
little
the thing.
multifaceted thing. I think it's always nice to have more than one person, right?
You know, I love it.
Well, that's why I gave it to you. That's why I gave it to you.
I like to,
You are?
really?
Don't move it, just the thing. Don't, because he's got it fixed for Patsy.
Okay.
So he'll adjust you up
Well, she and I
there.
are about the same.
Yeah, he'll adjust you up there if you need to be.
Oh,
But
I'd love to get adjusted, you know.
I do too, but it doesn't happen often enough.
Oh,
girl.
baby, me too. It's been 100 years.
I know it.
Did we pray in and I missed it?
Yep, nope, we're praying right now.
Okay, good.
Without you.
Pull your pants up. Pull your pants up.
Please.
Good morning. Beautiful beams of light.
Yes.
Mother, Father, Divine Creator, God, thank you for the blessing of being here together, for the blessing of being able to lift the vibration of this space and ripple that lift out into our community and our world. We affirm we are blessed, we affirm we are love in action. We affirm that in this very now moment, all is well and in divine order. And thank you for that and so much more. Amen.
Amen.
Yippee!
Well, it was funny because that morning, Are you all set?
No. Yeah. No, they're filming in his location. So somebody rented it for 2 days.
Oh, very cool.
To film, so he's kind of got to be there, but they're like there from like 8 till 8. So he was there like not on his part, his helping. Just to be there. So he'll be gone most of the rest of the day. Right down there. So, okay.
Well, you're next week, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I'm on next week. So we'll.
Mark does the third and fourth, and I do first and second. Sure. Oh, and I was going to,
And then you let me know if you want me to help out with seeing. I mean, I'd still like to be God with it. Yeah, help out with the seeing Mary. What's it? Yeah,
what was the name of the Christmas play? I don't even remember.
it's on there.
Oh, yeah, you'll definitely be there.
Okay. All right.
Please, thank you.
Well, I mean, are you gonna just try to get it up to anybody again, or?
No, it's all done. The only thing we're gonna re-record is something that we want to participate this year, so I'm assuming I'm getting other people involved. Hopefully we'll just re-record those parts.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Well,
all
that's
done.
why I mean, you don't have to. They can still go to that
Yeah, but I think
voice, but it would be. Well, if he's willing to do it, please tell him. See what. Because I wasn't here, the tech. So, I mean, that's, I've learned something. They kind of screwed that up and left that to the last minute. But he did an excellent job. I just was like, because I was sitting there and like, oh, these. Because I hadn't heard it like with the solution.
Oh,
and
yeah.
all that stuff. So I was like,
he does a good job.
he did a very good job.
Mine, girl.
Yeah. Wait, the last time.
We're going to do.
Good morning. Yippee! So good to see all the bright lights. And then the sun doesn't hurt at all either. So, I have a few short announcements. We are proud to announce, and I see at least a good half of the soup committee is here. And actually, I got in on the tail end of it, but it was a lot of fun, and the soup was so good, those of you who had any of it. And if you didn't, be sure to come around next year, because we're going to do it again. We raised about $500 for the church. And my notes call for a round of applause, so thank you very much. Your mind reading is right up to par. Also want to remember to let you know that there is some soup left over that we packaged up and froze or stored in the fridge. And so that'll be available downstairs for sale. $5. And it's a 16-ounce cup, so. All right. Our annual family and Friendsgiving dinner is quickly, and that's a big word, quickly approaching November 23rd. I believe that's the Saturday night before Thanksgiving. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. At 6 o'clock. Please sign up in the Welcome Center so we know how many are coming and what you are planning to bring. We do such good covered dish work, don't we? Yes, we do. Okay. The board looks forward to hosting this event for our wonderful community. Okay, once again, we say it every week. Please remember that all this info and more can be found on our website. For those of you who are not electronically challenged, such as myself. And also downstairs in the Welcome Center. We do have a town meeting today, after the service and after we meet downstairs for our favorite eating portion of the show. 12:30, the town hall starts. And also under the news category, Patty and I will be co-chairing the craft show. It'll be, as far as I know, it'll be on the 8th and the 15th. But there will be more upcoming info on that. So that's it for me.
Thank you, Michael. Good morning, everyone. We had a fabulous night last night, didn't we? Everybody did such a fantastic job. Well, there'll be another one coming up in spring if we weren't able to make this one, but it was a lot of fun and just so much hard work that put into such a great performance. We laughed, we cried, we did all sorts of stuff, so we do so well at Unity. And now we're going to sing. So with our beloved Natasha and Jacob not here, we don't have overhead, so I made something very easy for you. The first song we're going to sing is Love Is My Decision, and the rest is just for yours to enjoy. So would you stand with me?
I am an individualized expression of
feet on the floor. Let your shoulders relax. Even through your closed eyes, just feel the sun coming through these windows. Feel the joy in this place and the love in this place. And there's peace here today that passes all understanding. And we're going to invite Marty to read the word today while we all prepare our hearts.
Let's contemplate today's word. The Christ within is my source of freedom. Freedom is my spiritual birthright. I live my freedom when I speak my mind. Pursue my dreams and live with dignity and self-respect. It means I am self-directed and I use my spiritual gift of understanding, faith, love, and strength to guide my decision and action. As I do, I feel free. I do what I can to support my freedom for myself and others. I honor and give thanks for all those whose courage and dedication in service have helped build and sustain a world where all people can know true freedom. In prayer, I envision a harmonious human community that assures everyone's basic needs are met. Respect different viewpoints and celebrate the unique expression of God that each person is. As servants of God, live as free people, yet do not use your freedom as a pretext for evil. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 16.
So as we continue in this sacred portion of our service, we know that our 5 basic principles act like a tether from spiritual to practical application. We're going to invite our beloved Joy up this morning. She's going to be our speakers for the 5 powers.
Good morning, everyone. So, our 5 basic principles. In summary, God is, I am, I think, I pray, I do. So those were really challenging, some of them for me this past week. I don't know about you, but this has been a pretty difficult week in terms of what has been happening in not just the world in general, and that's been happening as a challenge in my heart for a long time, but the mood in our country this week has been challenging for me as well. And so when I was reflecting on both the daily word for today and also how I try to embody and live these principles, as our 5th principle talks about for this week, I was skimming back through the beautiful gratitude journal that I used, that Ed had made, plug for the craft sale this year, because my guess is he's probably going to be offering some more. And mine is about full, so you might want to take a look at what he has available soon. But I pulled out something that I had stuck in the gratitude journal that I think I was touched to revisit in times of challenge like this. And it really gets to principles, all of the principles, but God is, I think, I pray. It was a daily word entitled Let Go and Let God, and the highlights for me from there were that sometimes, despite my preference and willfulness, circumstances will shift in unpredictable and even undesirable ways. The more I try to exert control, the more frustrated and exasperated I feel. I don't know if that happens for any of you guys, but that certainly happens a lot for me. confusion, discord, order, and chaos. Letting go and letting God means I am willing to have faith in the divine presence, willing to trust divine timing, and willing to be patient until His divine order unfolds. And how do we do that? We do that through prayer. So I will continue to pray and to attempt to let go and let God and trust that God is in the midst of what unfolds for each of us.
Amen. Thank you, Joy. And now we also stay in that sacred space and we call up our beloved prayer chaplain. We know that prayer has been continuous for over 135 years at Silent Unity, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can call the number and you can ask for prayer. You can go online and receive a prayer. That's one of the things about unity that holds us together like glue, is prayer. So thank you, Mina. So as we close our eyes and remember the prayers that we put in the box, remember the prayers that are on our hearts. Our heart space is where healing and love and peace, generosity, compassion, all goodnesses live. From this place we say thank you, God, for the reminder that our prayers are always answered. Written on our hearts, not yet here, and even answered. They are always answered. And today we send out extra love, extra prayers for peace, for discernment, for choice, and for love, love, love. We affirm that we are all these things and that we ripple all these things out into our world. Such a gift. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Divine Creator God. Amen. So before Patsy comes up to give us whatever it is that she does for us today, we have one more song. We're just going to ask you to stay right where you are. This is a song about the harvest.
Send the rain, harvest will reap. on the sign. Let her reap. My talk is about reaping, but the title really has very little to do with my talk. The title has more to do with the fact that Jacob came over to Sally and me last Sunday and said, "What's your title?" And I said, "Reaping." And Sally said, "Let her reap." And Jacob's eyes lit up. And so we're going to let her reap. Okay?
Yes, amen.
I'm going to talk about reaping. We reap what we sow, which is, I realized in the middle of the night last night, when I woke up and couldn't get back to sleep, our third principle. We reap what we sow. Our thinking creates our reality.
Yes.
We sow a thought into the world, and we reap its effect. Right? So, this is the first part of our harvest talks. I'll be talking about reaping, and in 2 weeks, Leland will be talking about sowing. But I'm going to talk a lot about sowing too. So, it's a time of harvest. We're reaping the benefits of what we or somebody else have sown. So I want to talk a little bit about the material things we're reaping. And I invite you to imagine yourself going to a roadside stand. I was driving down Route 20, and I came upon this lovely little roadside stand. Lots of vegetables, lots of pumpkins, things like that. I went in, I decided to stop, and I stopped at the roadside stand with the intention of getting one pumpkin, okay? But what these farmers had sown, had reaped so much more than one pumpkin, that I got 5 pumpkins and a whole bag full of fresh groceries. Wonderful, wonderful, luscious, healthful vegetables. I love them. And I have enjoyed them since then. But in order for me to have reaped the bounty of vegetables that I got at that farm stand, someone, in this case the farmers, had to sow the seeds of that pumpkin and all those other vegetables that I got. Reaping means gathering a crop. And sowing means planting the seeds of that crop. And you've all heard that expression that I used. We reap what we sow. That farmer sowed vegetable seeds, and I reaped the vegetables of what he had sown. But I didn't come to talk to you about farming. I came to talk about a serious spiritual principle that we practice every day. We sow what we believe into the world. We sow our feelings into the world, and we reap the benefits or the detriments of what we have sown. Both are what we reap. Now, I'm not going to talk about the election, but Joy mentioned it, so I do want to talk about, I did not reap what I sowed, okay? But I reaped what we all reaped, what a lot of people had sown. So I invite you just to think a little bit about what had to have been sown in the country for us to have reaped what we did. I'm not going to give any opinions about it other than that I did not sow what I reaped. But we reap intangibles too. So just think of the peace that you feel, that you reap every time you walk into this sanctuary. There is a sense of peace here, a sense of harmony. Consider the way we reap love from each other. I am sowing love to you, and I can reap the love coming back at me. I can feel it. You may reap something from what I say, but there's only one reason that you're able to reap anything from what I say. Someone had to sow the seeds of what I was going to say, the music that Sally chose. We can't reap what we have not sown or what someone else has not sown. And I think we need to understand what we've reaped in order to know what we sowed to create that reaping. So I want to talk a little bit about sowing and reaping from a biblical perspective. And throughout many versions of the Bible, sowing is used as a metaphor for our actions, for what we do. And reaping is used as the result of our actions. In other words, we can't reap what somebody else, somewhere, or God has not sown. In Paul's epistle to the Galatians, he writes, "For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap." He goes on to instruct the Galatians to sow to please the Spirit rather than to please the flesh. A life of spirit will be rewarded. If you sow a life of spirit, you're going to get spiritual rewards back. Now, today we call it karma, or whatever goes around comes around. But whatever you call it, it's reaping and sowing. So I'm going to talk about what we're reaping and maybe why. And again, I'm not going to talk about the elections. No matter what we reap, it will have been previously sown by someone else. So I looked at a book. I looked through books online, and I found a book by John W. Lawrence, who is a fundamentalist preacher, and I decided, well, maybe there's something in this. Maybe he has sown something that I need to reap. It was called Life Choices. And I've made a lot of choices in my life. Some have been good, some have been bad, but this book was an amazing eye-opener for me because it was all about the 7 reasons, the 7 definitions of reaping. So I chose the book randomly, and it turned out to be about reaping, entirely about reaping. So I'm going to give you John W. Lawrence's ideas about reaping. Idea number 1. We reap only what has been sown. That's what I'm talking about. If no one has sown an idea, it's impossible for us to reap from that non-idea. It's impossible to reap from what doesn't exist already. The same is true of things. We can't reap what we or someone else hasn't sown. If we have come up with a truly unique idea and are acting on it, we may be both sowing and reaping at the same time. But if anything, whatever has been sown, it is up to us to reap what has been sown. So, I'm going to give examples. Are all of you comfortable? Okay. The idea for removing the pews came a long time ago. A long time ago. I remember Sibby saying, why don't we have these pews? We could have chairs and we could move them around. And she said that 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I don't know. But do you like where you're sitting? You are reaping the rewards of an idea that was sown many years ago, before Natasha ever came to this church, but it took someone who was willing to work at it to make the idea a reality. So, we can't reap what has not been sown. Idea number 2. We reap the same in kind as we sow. In other words, we reap whatever it is we've sown. If someone sows flower seeds, we're not going to reap vegetables. We'll reap flowers. If someone has sown hate, we can sow love to counter the hate, but we can't reap love from the hate that someone else has shown. So, in practical terms, I can't sell a house. I mean, that's what I do. I list and sell houses. I can't sell a house unless someone has listed the house. I can't go out and say, I want to sell Mina's house when Mina doesn't want me to. The idea has to be sown before I can reap it. The services here at church, you don't think a lot of sowing goes into what you reap from the services? Oh yeah. Sally and I, when I speak, Sally and I are always texting back and forth about what the music will be, and I'm sitting at my computer writing notes, and I'm driving the car and I'm recording notes, and we reap the same in kind as we sow. Number 3. We reap in a different season when we sow. Just as we can't expect to reap what hasn't been sown, usually we can't sow and immediately reap the rewards or the challenges. Our jobs are an example of this. We go to work, and we work for 2 or 3 weeks or whatever, and we get paid at the end of that time. So we get our reaping after we've sown. So John Lawrence says, no harvest comes the moment the seed is planted. And for the farmer whose bounty I sampled, the seeds were planted in spring. The reap was in autumn, a couple of weeks ago. My father sowed a seed in my head. Now, I've spoken about my mother, but I've not spoken about my father a lot. My father was a draft resistor, and he was anti-war. He was a pacifist, a true pacifist. He refused to go to war when he was drafted. I was a little girl. I was like this high. But you know, his feelings of giving love instead of fighting have stayed with me to this day. And I also am against war. During the Vietnam War, Joe and I were going to move to Canada if we got drafted. So this ideal was planted in my mind by my father when I was, what we said in the South, knee-high to a grasshopper. And it's manifest even now. Number 4, we reap more than we sow. The harvest is always greater than the seed planted. This works with what is good, like the farmer whose wonderful vegetables I bought too much of. And it works with what isn't good as well. For example, if we tell one person, our closest friend, about another person and something they did, we've gossiped. But we've committed a small error in judgment, saying something that maybe we shouldn't have said. But when that person tells another person who tells another person who tells another person, and it's all over the church, we have reaped the ruin of someone's reputation. And we have sown the seed of someone ruining their reputation. We always reap more than we sow. When we do a favor for someone, how many of you have done a small favor for someone and had it followed with a multitude of good happening to you? Yeah, we reap more than we sow. When we sow good, we reap more good. When we sow what is not good, we reap more of the same. Number 5, we reap in proportion to what we sow. If we sow sparingly, we reap sparingly. I give one small present to someone and they give one small present to me. If we withhold some of our love, we receive less love. This principle also applies to silly things, like weight loss. If we sow a lot of food on our plate and consume it, our bodies grow. if we sow less food, we gain less weight. It holds in terms of good things as well. Why do you think we've reaped the beauty of this church, the new rug, the new carpeting, the new chairs, because we have given more. We have given more to the place and the people that we love. And so we have reaped more. Number 6. We reap the full harvest of good only if we persevere. The negative harvests on its own. Now, the example that John Lawrence gives is that weeds grow all by themselves. But if we garden, we have to take really good care of our vegetables and our flowers. If we garden, they require much care. The weeds just grow, and we pull them out and they grow again, and we pull them out and they grow again. The negative harvests on its own. When we fail or forget to pray, we may notice that life is not moving as smoothly as we would like. We need to persevere in prayer if we're going to reap goodness.
Yes.
We need to counter the negatives that grow without being planted. Or the negatives that grow because they have been planted by someone else. And again, I am not talking about the election. Sort of. Negative things will pop up. They will stymie us for a moment. What do? We keep going. So this is the 7th principle. We cannot do anything about last year's harvest. There are no do-overs. But we can do something about this year's harvest. We all tend to worry about what was. But the only thing we can do anything about is what is. There's no point at all in worrying about what was. What we reaped or sowed in the past. We can only change what's happening now. As Eckhart Tolle said, we can only live in the now. There is only now. There may be a greater now that we're dealing with, but it's only now. We can only do something now. Now is the only time we have to sow or to reap. Have you ever thought, oh, I'll do that tomorrow? And how many times have you done it? What you said you'd do tomorrow? Yeah. My kitchen sink is filled with dishes. Last night I went to bed and said, I'll clean it out in the morning before I go to church. I'll do it tomorrow. Guess what? My kitchen sink is still filled with dishes. Back to the farmers. Harvest is the time of reaping. It's the time when we reap what others have sown and what we have sown. And the time of harvest is right now, in late autumn. It's Thanksgiving time. The early Americans celebrated the harvest through a feast which grew into our Thanksgiving. So let us give thanks for what we've reaped. Thanksgiving time, yeah, give thanks for it all. Because all that we reap is a result of something we or someone else has sown.
Yes.
Now I'd like you to close your eyes and reap the blessings that have been sown by this service, and sow more blessings for others to reap. In meditation, I want you to think of one good thing you would like to sow for the benefit of others. In my team at work, every Monday we have a meeting and we talk. The leader of the team says, what's one big thing that you did during the week? I want you to meditate on one big thing that you can do. One thing that you can sow that will allow others to reap something greater.
Thank you.
Giving and receiving are one and the same. We encourage you to visit our website to sign up for electronic giving at unitysyracuse.org. By the way, how many of you have not seen our new website? Good. Okay, so that was the offertory song, I guess, right?
Divine love.
Oh, okay, all right.
Divine love.
Okay.
And multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. You are my source.
We bless these offerings given in love, given in grace. And we thank all who offer. And now we're blessing our youth. So bless our youth, empowered and connected to their community, to their Creator, and always guided by the loving Christ light within. We have an inclusive and inspired youth and family ministry. And so now, let us stand for our benediction. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love. The power of God protects us. We are the power. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and always is Him. And our peace song.
Yeah, yeah. This, all right. So, escape out. Yeah, so now right here. Stop streaming. Oh, no.
Where's the mouse?
Right here. Get it over here on the screen.
Oh, gotcha.